In 2026 alone, the amount of people that has been converting to the Catholic faith has been increasing rapidly. In the United States alone, the amount of adults that are converting to Catholicism is 37%. In today's video, we are going to talk about why Gen Z find Catholicism so appealing and all of them are coming to the one true church. We are going to analyze their time and what they are looking at and why they are converting, looking at it from also a young person view, because both of us are relatively still young. So living in the culture where technology is taking over, where AI is taking over, and we are going to look at why so many people find home in the Catholic Church.
And I think one of the biggest reasons why people come back to the Catholic Church, even from other denominations, is the music in some of those certain churches. When you want to enter a place of worship, right, you wouldn't want to make it sound like it's a rock band.
You can go to any non-denominational or mainstream Protestant churches, and those churches adapted to modern secularization. Going into those churches just sound like any other rock concert. It does not sound unique. And worshiping God, the environment is very important. The environment sets the mood for this worship that you're going into. Every single time you go to a mass, it feels like a reverence place. It feels like you're going into a space of worship, into a space of silence, where human judgments, where what people say about you does not matter. But what matters is your personal relationship with Jesus. What matters is the Eucharist. And I believe that a lot of mainstream Protestant churches have taken that beautiful aspect of worship away from Christianity to the point where every single time you go into those Protestant churches, it feels like they are trying to sell you something. And I also feel like Protestant churches is appealing to people converting to Christianity too much rather than appealing their personal relationship with Jesus.
But even then, I hear Protestant artists using AI now. But that's completely out of the water. Because worship is supposed to be between man and God. There's not supposed to be a robot in the middle. I understand, okay, you want to use AI for other music. But the moment you take it and you use it for a song that is meant to worship Jesus, can you imagine that?
Well, I believe if you use AI to research about your music, research about the topic, that is fine. But when you replace the artist itself with AI, that is very wrong. Because in the space of research, in the space of researching for Catholic videos and all that, even the mystical convert uses AI to research videos. But the scripting, the way we speak, all of that is on our own thought, not AI. I believe that when you replace human creativity, the human mind is very different from animals and from all the other creations of God in this aspect. We are very creative. We are like God in this aspect. That's why it says we are made in the image and likeness of God. We are very creative. You see, all the years that music has been made are amazing, right? Of course, there are bad music, but most of them that are very popular are amazing music. And even in the space of Christian music, a lot of artists over the years have made amazing worship music. And I believe that when you replace human creativity with AI, then it takes away the point of worship, because worship, again, like Benedict has stated, is between God and man. So I believe that AI can be a good tool, but not a replacement. AI can be a good partner to research, but not to replace human creativity.
Even the non-Catholic songs, when it comes to other denominations, I still enjoy listening to their music. Patrick and I, we still listen to their music. You can look at the song What a Beautiful Name, or even Goodness of God. If I'm not mistaken, that's one of Patrick's favorite songs, right?
Those are amazing songs, and yes, that is one of my favorite songs. And my problem with Protestantism is not with the music. Protestantism have produced some of the most beautiful Christian music, but the problem is when this music that is very closely associated with pop music, that's why we enjoy it so much, because Protestant music is like you listening to pop music. I believe that when these music are used to worship God, are used in Sunday worship for the Eucharist, then that is where we make the line. Because in the Mass, We need music that is made for worshiping God and made for the Eucharist. We cannot use music that is like promoting a party lifestyle or very closely like pop music.
And earlier, Patrick brought up the amount of converts in the US alone, but we should look at the amount of converts worldwide. Annually, new members to the Catholic Church are 15 to 16 million in just every year. Just 1 year, there's 15 to 16 million new converts. Can you imagine how beautiful that is?
That is truly beautiful, being able to return to your home, which is the Catholic Church. And I believe for Gen Z, they are converting to Catholicism, and it is also very similar to our conversion to the faith as well, is we are tired of technology. Even if you go into a mainstream Protestant church today, we have a big screen, we have the pastor preaching and a slideshow. But I think that what we are seeking is simplicity. What we want in a church is for a priest to have a microphone and give a homily without any fancy slideshow, without any big QR code on screen while he's preaching to ask you to donate. This is not what we are looking for. What we are looking for is the simplicity that millions of Christians in the past have. And I believe that mainstream Protestant have abolished. This is not saying that their church are bad. Many Protestant churches are good, but I think that for Gen Z, they are bored of the technology, they are bored of the big screen, and they want something that feels timeless. And the only place you can find that is the Catholic Church.
And it's very funny that Patrick brought that up because Patrick and I have watched Mass, we've been in Mass, and we've also watched certain denomination services. When we look at their big screen and all the slides and all these big things, right? It feels so overwhelming. But the moment you're in the church, when you feel peace, when you listen to Father's homily, it always sticks in your head and you will never forget it. And something which is very weird, but it's weird in a good way, is whenever I hear Father's homily, it has to do with something that has happened in my life recently.
Well, that is the power of God. In the world where everything has to be high production, even YouTube videos have to be highly edited for it to be engaging. Movies have to be millions and even hundreds of millions of dollars to make a single movie, a high production movie. In the world where everyone is looking at production value and high production quality, it is very refreshing to walk into a Catholic church, sit down, face the Eucharist, and hear the priest's homily. And also, the most refreshing thing as a Catholic to experience is going for adoration. Just kneeling down and looking at the Eucharist or kneeling down looking at the crucifix is very amazing, because in the world where our attention span is so short, in the world where we need to be constantly entertained and we need videos to constantly entertain us, to be able to just go kneel down for adoration, and there is no fancy editing, there is no fancy slideshow, it's just you and Jesus and your prayer life. That is some of the most amazing thing to be able to experience as a Catholic.
Even though confession is a thing which all Catholics should do, right? I've met Catholics that are always so afraid. They're like, I want to go for confession, but Father's going to judge me. This is what he's going to think of me. But no, remember, priests are bound to the seal of confession. They cannot tell anyone. And one thing I must say to all those at home, a father's advice, an advice from a priest, is one of the best advice you'll ever hear.
God uses people to do his ministry. God can just come down here and say, hey, the Catholic Church is the one true church, but he does not do that. He uses instrument, he uses his creation to show that, and he used the priest for confession to put the wisdom into them to give good advice. And let's say you are a Catholic struggling with lust. What is a better man to look at? Your local Protestant church pastor? Or is it a priest that devoted their life to celibacy, to not look at materials that can lead them into lust, to live a life of chastity, to live a life without marriage and without lust, and they have devoted their entire life to that? I believe that that is the best person in the world today to seek advice if you are dealing with lust, which is most of the men in today's world.
Could you imagine confessing your sins to your local pastor? Can you imagine that? he would probably turn it around and he would turn it into one of his sharings, wouldn't he?
Patrick stole from a corner shop the other day. Next
Yeah.
Sunday, I'm preaching. So I had this friend, his name is Patrick, and he stole from the corner shop. And us as Christians should not do that. I would prefer that my confession not be said to millions of people around the world and even live stream
Yeah.
to people on YouTube. And a lot of pastors does not do that, but there are some pastor that do. And of course, we have that doubt, because trusting a person is hard, but trusting a person that God has placed for the purpose of confession to, and they cannot say anything about it. That is truly amazing. So this video is not just to attack the Protestants or not to make fun of the Protestant. That is not our goal at all in making this video. This video is just our opinions on why Catholicism is growing among Gen Z and also adults, why people are converting to Catholicism and our view on it as young adults. So this video is not to attack any other Christian denomination. I think that if you're Protestant in a non-denominational church and if you love Jesus a lot and you praise him to your interpretation, that's great. And I hope that you find the one true church. But this video is not to attack anyone. This is just to state why so many people are converting to the Catholic Church.
And if for some of you at home, if it may sound like Patrick and I are constantly hammering and pushing towards the Protestants, we are not. We just want to get it out there, what our thoughts are and what the one true church is.
Yes, that's right. There are many great Protestants that are very devout in their faith, and I think that is great. If you look at, again, I've stated this in a previous video, Protestant missionary works and Protestant music and all of that. They are great and they make up a lot of cultures. I hope you guys enjoyed watching today's video, and if you did, please leave a like. And also, if you would like, comment your church down below. What denomination are you? And we'll discuss that in the comments, right? We'll get a conversation started in the comments. Tell us what denomination of Christianity are you and why you are that denomination. And if you would like, comment how your personal relationship with Jesus is and why you are that denomination. So get conversation started in the comments. And again, if you enjoyed it, please leave a like, comment your experiences in the comment section, and also subscribe to our channel if you want more content like this, not just traditional apologetics, but also how to live out the Catholic faith.